sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you could pick up your telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We address all issues. We fear no subject matter. The number to call is 442-0175. We're always interested and welcome our CARICOM nationals, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora. Anybody listening to us on the program, pick up the telephone and give us a call. It's good to always open bat and open play. Open bat and open bowl. Don't bother about preamble. Just pick up the telephone, give us a call and punch on whatever topic you so choose. You don't have to agree with us. We encourage people to stick with the truth. On our program, we want to advocate what is true. We express our opinion based upon the information we have. If we have new information, we change in our opinion. Let us stick with the truth and we could make this country different. We could change this country. All of us in Grenada are good people that has do wrong things sometimes. We have 110,000 people. We cannot afford to fracture our society unnecessarily. You're going to have social problems. You're going to have prejudice. You're going to have political problems. But we always have to remember we have to work together. We have to change the bar on the block. When you come out from a community, you get an opportunity to advance and get more intellect. You get educated. As we say, you get bright. You have to come back and impart this knowledge in the community. If you're so lucky that you have discretionary income, come back and get involved in the community. Could you imagine you have 5 millionaires in Montreal? The number of people that are unemployed would have get opportunity to do jobs. They would have cars, they want the car clean, they want mechanic, they want a cook, they want a butler, they want to paint their houses. We need our people who is successful to come back in the communities and help the community. Not because you have a house in St. George's mean that you never return to Montreal. You don't come back in Hermitage. You're not going in Callaloo. You're done with Paul's. You don't meddle with La Poterie. That is not correct. We could change the bar on the block. We could help to motivate the younger ones. The younger ones on the block that believe they can't make it in school. When they interact with you, they'll be motivated. So we have to do more. We have to always remind the government. Remember, there are a lot of times you cannot blame the government, because we choose a very inexperienced group of people who has never been in government before. So they're making simple, rudimentary mistakes. So we have to continue to speak. They don't want to hear you because they're a little bit arrogant. But we have to continue to work on them, so they become mild and mellow and they have compassion. Now, if we develop a society without compassion, with people that don't want to empathize, Kennedy Boudreaux always on that subject matter. We have to have a compassionate people. What is going to happen is the younger ones going to be extremely disrespectful to the elderly. They go break their homes. They go beat them in the street. Because they get old, they can't walk good. They would not be helpful for them. We have the most home for the age in Grenada. We have a lot of people now, particularly professionals. They don't have much children. If they have is 1.5. They might be able to build big houses and have gates and have a car. But them alone in the house like Jumbie. And if you have a society that is you treating bad, when you was barbecuing, they was smelling it, but they couldn't get peace to eat. They go break your house. Some of the women is going to suffer at the hands of sexually aggressive men. And you have to abandon your house and go in a home. We have the most home for the age in Grenada. During your upward mobility, you abandon your family. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, good morning.
Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, you have children?
Yes, caller, go ahead.
You answer me. Mr. Pierre, what are you talking about right now? The revolution and the independence cannot be marked October 19. October 19 is Bloody Monday. How you could take independence and put it with October 19? Huh?
October 19 was a Monday?
Bloody Monday.
No. October 19 was not Bloody Monday. Bloody Monday was in St. George's or Grenville?
I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's slightly mixed up.
Put independent with independent and October 19th. And they could do what they want with October 19th, but don't join it with independent. They could do what they want with the October 19th, with the 25th, whatsoever they want to do, but leave out independent.
Caller, I think the challenge for us is we choose a very immature group of people to be in charge of the country.
Yeah, but you have director.
No, caller.
Supposed to teach them.
Caller. We can't be too naive. Nobody can teach them. They're arrogant. They're bitter. So they cannot be taught. And the people that they put as advisors, the people only there to make a money. If they squeak, they fine them.
Mr. Pierre, we cannot leave Grenada coming down to that stage, you know.
This is why.
It was Dr. Mitchell that was in power, and this thing was.
Dr. Mitchell not in power. You
can.
see, Dr. Mitchell not in power. We remove Dr. Mitchell in power. We say he's old. And June election, I ain't hear nobody defending Dr. Mitchell's age. I don't hear one NNP defending that Dr. Mitchell's age is not an issue. If they was doing it, it was very quietly. People was jumping up, he too old. And I think Dr. Mitchell succumbed to the sentiments expressed, and he decided that that was his last. And after election, he said he would not contest in the next convention, or words to the effect. And the only reason is because of his age. We choose a group of young people.
Anybody to come and run Grenada right now. If it's for 2 years, if it's for 3 years, it's Dr. Mitchell. That country, they right down in a hole, you know.
Caller, we must not be naive. And that is a problem that the NDC has played on and preyed on. The naivety of people. And that is why they make all this issue about age. They made so much issue about age, they beat up some.
Issue about age, young people still can do the work, so it don't make a difference. So leave the old man there.
Okay, caller.
Later.
See, one of the challenges we have in Grenada, there are times when people are supposed to open their mouth, they don't open their mouth. For a number of years, the NDC mouthpieces was jumping up on Dr. Mitchell's age. Even the Calypsonian helped to jump up on his age. Now the Calypsonian realize he's getting old, people start to call him old man. He want to extend the age to 65. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, how you doing, sir?
Great man, good man.
Blessed day to you, sir. Mr. Pierre, I'm a young man, right? I'm very young. I see you as a role model, and I see you as a father and grandfather to me. I'm actually a neighbor of yours in Carrie up there. And I stand to be corrected. If I'm wrong, I'm here to be corrected. But the issue of October 19th and with February the 7th and so forth, I think this is an issue that can be easily resolved. Right? Because we know that October 19th have its its events that went on and all this other thing, and you know what went on in October 19th and so forth. I think what is happening with this government is continuing to show a high level of ignorance. And this is the problem. I'm a young man, and I could tell you how naive we can be as young people sometimes. Right? And it reached to the point where this government, you cannot really speak to this government. Right? And the more we cannot get to speak to them and give them advice, the high level of incompetence continues to show, or may I say, showcase itself to a point where the country and the people within the country have to continuously feeling the adverse effects from them. All it takes is a little advice. All it takes is a little bit of empowerment, with this government. But then again, you cannot blame this government. We have to blame ourselves. And as naive as some of us just want to be, we have to blame ourselves, because it was us that was saying, Dr. Kid do good, and the man selling passport, and the man this, and nobody was not defending Dr. Kid age. We all know that. And we need a young bunch. When Dr. Kid was making claims that this is an young group who lack the experience and expertise to govern this country, to take this country from point A to point B, we claim that we want the young Mitchell. And this is the result of wanting young people who is inexperienced, who lack the innovation, who lack vision to run a country. Mr. Pierre, there is a Bible verse in Proverbs, right? And it clearly states that when the righteous is in authority, the people rejoices. But when the wicked beareth rule, the people moans. And this is what we are seeing now. We had blessed a young team, and today we are mourning. But some of us are still mourning, but we're bawling, and we're bawling with our mouth closed. Very rare you get a young person to stand up and speak against the ills and injustices that is being done towards the people of this country. Very rare. Not much. If there is, very few. And the few that is actually speaking, you're still having other persons condemning, criticizing. But you have to understand, when you are somebody who put out yourself out there, you expect to come up against criticism, and you expect to get condemnation. So, Mr. Pierre, I see you as a role model. You have taught me, you have carried me to school in Bel Air government, and I understand the plight when you speak on the fact that some of us are very naive. You understand? I can go on to say a lot more, but I choose not to, because there are other people who would want to come on and say. All right? Because longevity do has its place.
It is a very important point, and perhaps we have to always turn back to the personalities on the radio and the people in the community, and the fact that too much of our success story is divorced from the community. They abscond from the community. Bernard Code said, lack of institutional knowledge, youthful exuberance and arrogance. That is exactly what you see now with the addition of hate and bitterness. Over the years, the NDC chief directors was preaching hate. I remember about 7 years ago saying that on the program, on my program, and comparing it with Rwanda. Could you imagine when people were wearing national colors, NDC directors was calling them clowns? I mean, who would have thought in 2023, a director endorsed by the NDC is identifying villages as classless? How could you believe that a minister in a constituency divide his constituency and talking about good people? How could you deal with directors of the NDC referring to Grenadians as nasty people? Some people in Grenada as nasty people. How do you understand a trade union leader on Labor Day, so enveloped with the politics, refuse to show solidarity with the half-hearted attitude of a sister trade union, but instead calling for the head of workers because of their perceived political inclination? How do you explain the level of tolerance we have for a minister attending an activity and was dissatisfied with the attitude or the welcome or the treatment he got from an individual and fired the next morning? How do you explain these things? How do you explain a government that spoke so much about agriculture, fired 30 workers from Granba Estate, but 4? How do you explain that? I have been asking these questions to some of my NDC hardliners. Every time you ask them the question, they jump on Kit Mitchell. They cannot defend the actions of this government. Yes, caller, welcome.
Hey, good day, Mr.
Yes,
Pierre.
my brother, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
Yes, my brother.
I'm glad to hear you talk about agriculture and all this type of thing. That is good. Mr. Pierre, it's a burning shame in this country to see a party, the NNP party, spend 9 years in government and they did nothing to agriculture. Nothing at all. For 9 years, they don't do nothing in agriculture. All they do is they track, and they skid the cack and they smell. For 9 years, they do nothing. This government come in power, Mr. Pierre. They spend over $27 million trying to get agriculture going. You say they don't do nothing. They increase it.
No, caller.
Yeah.
I did not say they didn't do nothing. I said they fired 30 people, but 4 from Granby Estate. And they sabotage the source of industry, and they fire the people in pest management. They did something, caller.
That is what they did to try to get it going. And when they get it going, they will be planting more and more and more spices in this country. For 9 years, the NNP government, what they did, tell me one thing they do in agriculture, Mr. Pierre.
Right,
one single one.
I'll tell you some things they do off there. I'm going to give you
one.
Caller, I'm going to give you much more than one. I'll give you off the air.
Mr. Pierre, this NNP government, the NNP people, right now, they're encouraging the people in them houses and them.
That is not true, caller. You remember? Caller, listen to me. I mean, it means a tough one for the truth, you know. I just tolerate some blows at NNP. NNP is a political party. They're supposed to defend themselves. But you said that a number of times, and this is not the truth. At no time in Grenada, any member from the NNP discouraged people from paying, even when NDC was there. NDC is the party that like to do that. Caller, you remember the referendum? Don't say that, caller. You know, I will let you throw some pot shots at NNP and anger NNP members. But we want to push the truth. That's one of the challenges we had in Grenada. And we permit radio personalities to openly be disrespectful of the leadership of the opponents. They had the worst names. When I heard the NDC's mouthpiece was saying that the church sucking the anus of a political party, and no member of the NDC hierarchy disassociated themselves from that statement. Just as the statement now made by the motivational speaker that says some villages referring to them as classless, and no member of the NDC hierarchy, not even Persuader, disassociated himself from that statement. You know? So if anybody in Grenada contributed to the level of disrespect that is going on now, it is the National Democratic Congress. Look at what's going on in Parliament. The National Democratic Congress, and you're going to find a number of NNP on social media joining the disrespectful because they believe they have to hit back. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, go right ahead.
You know, it seems like the word nothing seems to have a new meaning in Grenada since July last year.
Yes, since Deacon said nothing was done. Yeah.
Because I keep hearing people who supporting the government or the NDC at the same time saying that Kit Mitchell and the NNP did nothing in Grenada for about 30 or much years and whatever. I mean, I try to understand what the word nothing mean right now. Because the word nothing seems to me to mean that it is not something. But I'm seeing so much that is happening in Grenada, the transformation that happening in Grenada. And I don't care nothing about NNP. I'm not here to defend NNP or whatever. I've been there observing. I'm a political analyst for all the years. And I recognize most people don't understand what they're talking about. Transformation, development in this country, the most ever in the history of Grenada, came from Grenada. There were bases laid by people like Eric Machigeri and to an extent Maurice Bishop and the revolution that enables that kind of a development. But whenever, as you usually pointed out, whenever the NDC is in power, it's retardation that happens. That's a fact. So I'm not there with a party issue, but look at the fact. Anytime the NDC is in power, is retardation. No, I'm not saying that right now. You could expect that same development, as you might say, of retardation as this government is there. But so far, they have not done anything that makes a difference. And that's part of the problem. But I'm not here to defend no party and whatever. But listen to this, Mr. Pierre. I was thinking this morning about something. Concerning the passport that people who get it to citizen by investment to be a problem sometime, to my mind. In the case where, for example, the passport was still left to the people in the Kiwana Bay situation. The people who invested their money, they're entitled to a passport, fine. They now have a passport. But at the same time, the investment is no longer because the government buy over the investment, right? As to the problem with the buy over investment, I'm not going to get into that. But it seems like Dr. Kid Mitchell have a serious problem with that, and he knows better than me, or most of us, I should say, too. But the government made a decision to buy over the investment. So the people are giving back their money. Hopefully they get back their money. But they still hold a passport because they were entitled to a passport for at least 5 years because a passport in Grenada situation lasts for 5 years. So here's the problem. When that passport expires, I am wondering if they're still entitled to another passport or a renewal of passport. Because when it is a case for us who are natural citizens, we could go and renew our passport anytime once we need renewing. But in that case, they only got a passport because of the investment.
We might have to determine that in the next 5 years. We might have to determine that in the next 5 years.
So the government need to explain that to us.
The government will have to determine that in the next 5 years. Whichever government that is there, going to determine that in the next 5 years.
No, no, listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying. Understand that the people who got the passport, they would have gotten it maybe about 3 years or so more by now, right? Because that investment, that project was going on for over maybe 3 years at least, right? So their passport is due to expire very soon. But the fact that they only got the passport through the investment, they no longer are part of the investment. I'm wondering if they're entitled to a renewal of the passport. I think the government need to explain that to people because I have apprehension about that. Having other people being part of my nation, and I don't know them, and they're using my nation name, they could tarnish it and all kind of a thing could happen. So that could be a problem, and we need to clarify that. The government, somehow the government needs to clarify that for us. Take care.
Yeah. Yes, we have a situation where, you see, when the Prime Minister of Grenada said nothing was done in Grenada post 83, that is where, you take issue with the Prime Minister. One of the soldiers, one of the political activists of the Prime Minister saying that he's basically regurgitating what the Prime Minister said. My issue is with the Prime Minister. If the Prime Minister in Grenada says nothing was done, then I believe that is a fake. And that's why I refer to him as a fake. That's why I refer to him. That's one of the reasons, a number of them. I come to the conclusion that the Prime Minister is a fake and he deceives people and he is planning lies. To say nothing took place. The St. George's University, yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
You're telling lies on the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister said nothing more.
Caller. You see how much respect I have for you? Caller, you see how much respect I have for you? You do the same. Yes, caller.
It was done.
Caller.
Yeah.
I have a lot of respect for you. And here on the radio, I say, if you find I'm telling lies, bring the truth. So what you have to do is to produce what the Prime Minister said. The Prime Minister said, caller.
Go ahead.
Caller.
Yeah.
This Prime Minister is the most lying Prime Minister that has been in this country for the last 8 decades. This is the worst Prime Minister where lies is concerned for the last 8 decades. The Prime Minister lied to the elderly. The Prime Minister lied to the physical challenge. The Prime Minister lied to disadvantaged children. The Prime Minister of Grenada told lies to the Imani, to the contract workers. The Prime Minister went and he tricked the people from Haiti. He went in the United Nations. He went into the United Nations and he gave the impression he was championing the cause of Haitian. Why do that? Haiti, anybody who went through the school system of Haiti, have great significance for Christophe and Grenada. So when a Grenadian Prime Minister championed the cause of Haiti, Haitian roar. And a few days after that, the Prime Minister of Grenada deceived the Haitian. The Prime Minister said, we campaign on a policy of transformation. But it is not so much transformation, it is more restorative justice. Our journalists should have taken the Prime Minister apart. That is the most among the lies I've heard from a Prime Minister in Grenada in the last 8 decades. And these lies cause people to lose their job. The caller, you don't understand the significance of a man losing a job. The Prime Minister introduced restorative justice in this country. What does that mean? In its practicality and on the ground, it is political vengeance. So when you introduce political vengeance in the country, what do you think is going to happen? My biggest fear of the restorative justice policy is that as it unfolds on the ground, I'm concerned. I see women lose their job and their boyfriend lose their job. Both parties lost their job. And some NDC rejoicing They say let them pound stone in the river. How could we end up with a society like that? How could you call Grenadian classless? And that is why I'm so shocked and upset with my brother Willie. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre, oftentimes the gentleman that just spoke a while ago, whenever he speaks, then you take him on. And
I don't want you to take him on, you know. I want you punch.
Yeah, the gentleman
you see, otherwise we just
singing for his supper. Like
yeah, caller, what we doing?
And then you had an issue with number 10. Number 10, when we said number 10 apparently was paid to jump ship. Number 10. And I don't know how much they're paying this gentleman, and you don't know too.
Caller,
he might be getting a bigger salary than you.
Caller.
But, yeah, I'm hearing you.
Caller, the gentleman make his statement on the program. Leave it alone.
He didn't make a statement.
Yeah,
he continued to dictate to you.
Caller,
That's what he does.
Yeah, you see.
And the thing is that the program, whereas I would like to continue calling your program, he's putting me and other people in a state where it doesn't make sense calling you.
Caller, let me say something to you. We have to be tolerant to one another. I don't know if you people visit the rum shop and go on the block, but the amount of anger I am seeing on the ground, I am concerned about it. And that is why I believe we have to be tolerant to one another. Even if you disagree with him, advance justification and reason rather than trying to shut him out. That is not going to help us. The real Bo Pig in this thing is the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister is knowingly lying and he's fracturing Grenada, and we want to fight with our brothers and sisters. And that is what we have to avoid.
The minister lies
Take on the Prime Minister.
Lied already.
The Prime Minister in Grenada is telling lies, and there are some of his supporters that believe him. Yeah, obviously. Let us take issue with the Prime Minister. Let us take issue with Comrade Cornwall, for saying as soon as we get into government, we're going to make everybody permanent. These are the people that take issue. Otherwise, we're going to be fighting with our brothers and sisters on the ground.
Yeah, I wore the uniform. on February 7th, right? I wore the uniform on February 7th. I was marching, celebrating our independence. And most people today are wondering why October and not February 7th. And the point is that
what do you think is the reason they put October?
I don't know. I'm wondering why.
I think they put October purposely. They put October so the discussion now will be on October and not on the struggles of the independence. They put that to dilute the significance of the struggles of Gary. Don't underestimate these people. Yeah. They are intellectuals.
So that's where you come in, Mr. Pierre. That's where you come in now. In other words, you know the struggle that went through for February 7th. I went through that struggle too. Yes? And so when we forget in February 7th to think about October, then the young children nowadays don't know anything about February 7th.
That is why we have to understand how wicked this government is. You don't understand that yet. I tell you, this is the purest form of NDC, you know.
I understood that.
And they put it on October. So the emphasis.
50 years ago, I experienced that. 50 years ago, I experienced that. Keeping order in the street. 50 years ago, when they're telling me we don't want independence, and now they're showing you, big and bold, they never wanted independence, so they squash it out and they put October instead. We can follow them up with that. Let them go ahead. We can stop them. Let them go ahead. They have an issue with February 7th. February 7th was the date we got independent. They're not speaking about that. They're not speaking about that. They're speaking about October. We killed a lot of people in October. Sorry, they killed a lot of people. And they do all kind of things. March 13, I think instead of October, it should be March 13 we should be celebrating. That's what they should be celebrating, March 13, among the people that they killed. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir. Yes, I believe that the government purposely decided in a good strategy to put October 19. They want to put a lot of emphasis on the period between 79 to now. The Prime Minister said after 1983, nothing was not achieved in Grenada. So he wants to put emphasis on 1979 and October 19. And then he's going to go to his period. Now this is design. The NDC always plan, you know. Don't underestimate NDC. That is why after 10 years in the wilderness, they just come back and win election, but lack the ability to manage. So they sit down and plan. And what they're going to do with October 19, a number of people objecting to the date, a number of people supporting the date, a number of people start to justify the date. So the discussion in Grenada is on October 19. They hope the discussion will be on October 19 and Maurice Bishop. They would like to leave out code out of the rhythm. They don't want you to talk about code. And they don't want you to talk about the people that suffered during the revolution. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, once again, let me point out something to people. That whole issue of the invocation of invoking Maurice Bishop's spirit is no simple thing. This is something, in other words, put it that way, Maurice Bishop's spirit that is ruling this country right now, you know. That's the way the devil works. There's no question about that. People need to understand what is going on there. Maurice Bishop's spirit was invoked by Deacon Mitchell, heading the group. They went in Common Park. They light candle. They do all this singing as we call it in old people language. And Maurice Bishop's spirit is ruling. Maurice Bishop died in October 19. On October 19. So they have to keep honoring that spirit. When you go and invoke the dead, what happens? The devil present himself. In other words, that night when Maurice Bishop's spirit was invoked, the devil's throne was sitting on Grenada, over Grenada. And it come and rest on Grenada since that time and up to today. All you need to understand, this is not a simple thing, you know. Don't take this thing for people who don't understand what God Almighty pointed out to us in the Bible. Take it. This is a serious issue. Yeah. So they have to keep honoring. They're bound to honor Maurice Bishop's spirit, which is the devil's in control. Simple put.
Yeah.
Take care.
Well, even the minister got so confused that he wanted to make our official visit 2 o'clock in the morning in the hospital. One of the senior nurses tell the nurse that had encounter with him, you should send him in the pathological annex. He must be looking for Maurice Bishop's spirit. So you see sometimes, and Maurice Bishop was not a religious man. Maurice Bishop was a communist. The communists claim that religion is the opium of the people. That is why in communist country, religion don't have the freedom to worship. You don't have the freedom to worship in communist country. China says religion is the opium of the people. The Uyghur people is placed in rehabilitation center or in jail. Falun Gong is under immense pressure. And a lot of Christian churches is worshiping underground. None of us sometimes face this reality because in our dealings with these imperial powers, we look at the economic benefits. We have a government today that is very insensitive and hostile to elderly people. Now we have this, I think it's the Mother Teresa order. One of the responsibility, they live very frugal. And they spend a lot of time with the poor and the destitute because they believe man have a right to live with dignity. But when we create a government like what we have now, they would seriously cause the dignity of individuals to disappear. You will have more vagrancy on the street. You will have more people living in unacceptable standard. And they believe to assist these people is to giving them handout. That is why the NDC took so much objection against the government when they were building 10,000 toilets. That is why they claim that the Ministry of Housing must run as a business. So more and more under NDC, houses will be provided to those who can pay. The Ministry of Housing will be an agent for the financial institutions. Let me repeat that. The Ministry of Housing would become an agent for the financial institutions. They'll be going outside there, identifying people and challenging them to the financial institution so they could build a house and make some money. Their role and their responsibility. Government must have a financial obligation to the poor and the destitute. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, afternoon.
Yes,
I'm back with you again. You spoke about earlier on about some of the issues that went forth. The gentleman spoke about the invocation of Morris Bishop's spirit. Yeah? And I heard on the news that they're intended to erect monuments. Images. They have intentions of erecting images in different parts of the island, changing the names of different communities into whatever they're going to name it. But the noted one here is that they'll be erecting images. Now, I saw some images that they developed recently, and they placed them underwater. Yes, they over in Grand Malo there, they put some images there depicting our culture. They said with jab and other images that they placed there. So I'm concerned about those images that they'll be setting up just now, different parts of the island. We would have seen some of those images in England, in the United States, well, especially in England, different areas, different communities, they have those images set up. When we set up those images, will they be asking us to bow down to those images too? And if you don't bow down, you can't get work? Is it what? I will like Stanford Simon to answer that. I will like that other one from River Sally up there, if he could answer that one too. And most of all, I would like to know if our the president of not the Senate, but the House, the Speaker of the House, if he will be bowing down to those images too. If he accepts those images, if he, from now, is accepting those images and pretend he's not bowing down to them when he accepts them as good. Is he accepting them now as good? And will he be bowing down to them?
I don't think the National Democratic Congress is going to last long enough for people to bow down to their images. I don't think they will last long enough. This is a greedy group of people that they're using all sorts of excuse, and they want to pray and see how they could benefit from the momentum of the past. But it's more a greedy, selfish group.
Yeah, but this is not a joking matter here.
Well, brothers, people deserve the government they have. That's why we must spend time in educating our people.
Those that was in the meeting that they had and with the candle, they can't say that they're not supporting it, and they nothing.
Yeah.
They can't say nothing.
Yeah,
that's what some of them saying. It's they nothing.
Yeah.
You know. So let's see how we're going forward. Thank you.
And this is one of the reasons I advocate more about the policy of our government. rather than the individual actions of the government. You have a group of people that get together and they have a philosophy and they have a position and they have a strategy. We must look at that. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, if Grenadians don't take the time off to listen, to analyze, and to make a decision for themselves and stop putting faith in this government, they would be leading down themselves down a road to their own destruction. Woe be unto the shepherd that leads his flock astray. I also have to say, in extension, that a nation that lacks knowledge would perish like fools. Because that is what we are seeing in Grenada. We are not putting ourselves in position to grab as much knowledge as possible. Now, I've been listening to the program for the longest while, and I've been hearing, they're talking about the invocation of Maurice Bishop and Rivera. The kind of things that I'm seeing happening in Grenada is not normal. It is not normal. And a lot of people is going to suffer. A lot of people is going to perish. A lot of people would be destroyed and they don't know the reason why they are being destroyed. That's all I have to say, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, and I'm going to take this time to read about 3 posts from on the social media. A long time I didn't do that. Every now and then on a sprack. Some individual Wolfgang Rockefeller, even number 10 and some NNPites buy into the garbage about ageism. Second one, is the previous caller saying that the young people are enjoying the atrocities of the NDC? Another one, if you all NDC supporters said that NNP did nothing for Grenada, why they were in office so long, or something like that. Another one I want to read. I like your program, and I would like you to ask this man if they fixed the ice machine in the fish plant yet. And the NNP did something because 30 people was working in Grand Bar. Yes, that is 2 things, and I forget it, this is unacceptable. The ice machine in the ice plant in Grenville, the technical officer in the Ministry of Fisheries go and fix the machine. The technical officer in the Ministry of Fisheries go and fix the ice machine. And you, the technical people in fishing, you know that we're able to export fish to the European Union. And that is not a market you want to lose. And you know what is the standards we must have to upkeep. You must protect it. The minister ought to know, and he should know too. The minister been in agriculture for half his life. And next half of his life, he was on the commodity boats. And in the third half. So he knows. But the technical people, you have to address that. It is not right. What is going on in Grenville is not right. Go and fix the ice machine and make sure that the people have ice to sell the fish. See, there are some things that have to be done, and the officer just have to do it. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre. 2 things. You see that whole idea of minimum wage and rectifying the problem? Even though it is the idea of rectifying the problem because of the cost of living is a good idea. But given the economic situation in Grenada, I am warning that from January, February next year, a lot of people are going to lose their job.
You have a copy of the minimum. Caller, you have a copy of the minimum wage? You have a copy of the minimum? Do you have a copy of the minimum wage?
No. I listen
If
to
you
it. I listen to it
color.
No, just let me, please, just
If
let me.
you, it's nice for you to
I
see.
understand. I understand. Mr. Pierre, just let me speak, please. Because it's because I'm on WhatsApp. The dialogue is kind of
Then
muffled.
go ahead,
So
punch.
listen, please. So the whole issue of the increase is necessary because by law you're supposed to every 3 years. But given the economic situation in Grenada, businesses are not doing well enough to be able to give that increase in a genuine way. So that, okay, if you have 7 workers, let's say 10 workers right now, you might have for them to get that increase going based on law. Because it's in law, you have to do the increase. They might have to drop 3 and 4 workers. So don't be surprised if at the end of January, February, and so on next year, a lot of people will be on the breadline simply because the business would not be able to sustain such a thing.
All right, thank
Take
you.
a look at it, do the analysis, and you'll see what I'm talking about. But hold on, there's something else. That whole issue about the heroes relative to the 50th celebration, as they call it, celebration of independence. As far as I know, Grenada is not independent. I study my constitution, it is not independent. But anyway, they call it independent. And that whole thing of heroes is going to be another controversy in Grenada. You feel like the man pointed out about the image and thing that will be erected all over the place, the statues. That could be a very serious controversy in this country once again.
Hi.
And who exactly is qualified to be a part of that so-called hero thing is going to be a definite confusion. So all I'm seeing for the next few months, years, and whatever in Grenada, once NDC is in power right now, confusion is going to reign in Grenada. Period.
Okay, thank
A
you.
lot of people are going to lose their job. A lot of people are going to lose their job just sooner or later.
Yes, thank
Take
you.
care, sir.
Yeah. Yes, as we come down to the end of the program, we may have room for our last caller, and you could always give us a call and punch. When you have environment like this one here, yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre,
Go right ahead.
Mr. Pierre, Miss George here.
Oh, yes, caller. Good to hear your voice.
Mr. Pierre, yes. You have been saying that some things not right, and a lot of things not right in truth, and that's why I'm calling. Because I was just reliably informed of a case within the seed program. And you know, I seem to have a lot of work with seed now because of all the wrongs. So there is this beneficiary who is disabled, has very limited mobility. She is 55 years, but she has a son who is in Form 5 in GSS. That beneficiary lives in Battle Hill. She was receiving $300, $2 for herself as a disabled, and $100 for her son who is a student at secondary level. The sister collects the money for her, and this month got only $200. So when she went to inquire, she was told that the son is 17, so he cannot receive the allowance of $100. So that $100 was removed. Somebody need to explain if there has been major revisions within our target group for school children, the age range, the age. Because I know we support children up to 20 years. Well, sorry, I keep saying we, but the program supported students up to 20 years according to the MOU with education. It's up to 20 years. So why was this 17-year-old who is in Form 5 removed? So somebody needs to answer that question.
Yes, and, we could come back on that perhaps in another program.
Yes.
On it,
yes,
you
yes,
know.
Please.
But in the meantime, I want the people in the diaspora, those of you who like spare to go and take picture, to ask Deacon and them this question.
Yes.
Then ask them.
So the lady is home. She is not mobile. Her sister has to help her, and the same son, who is a student.
They remove him money.
They remove his money. He's the one that do certain basic things for the mother before he leaves for school. And you remove $100?
They say let them starve, you know.
Huh?
I mean, in some of the discussion, I just shock.
But this thing
to
is
hear.
beyond heartless.
Yes. Sometimes I tell people, you know, they want to know why I'm so tolerant on radio. You must see me in the rum shop in these arguments. You hear people say, let them starve, you know.
So what is right about that? There is nothing right. Huh?
The NDC is going to create more vagrancy, more social
God.
decadence among people. You know, people going to lose their job, and I don't know. This is a bad group of people that with a lot of vulture qualities.
They need to take back the heart in the symbol and put it within them, because the heart seems to be only in the symbol, because this is heartless.
And what wrong these people have done then?
Exactly.
And so many people vote for them. That is only how they could win. The promise they made those people. And that is why black wizards say, inside NDC INNP. Yeah, you know.
They just disturb my
This information and them, you know, it upsets you.
Of course.
You know, particularly when you visit some of those cases and you see the condition of the people.
Just think about it.
Yeah. Over the weekend, I visited a woman and they removed her from the program, and she has one son, and the son walking here and there, and he fighting to take care. And it was sad, you know.
But you see, the poor, these people now have to suffer. Oh God, well, they're trying to validate all the allegations that there were so many dead people and able-bodied persons on the program.
I don't know why the National Democratic Congress is like that. I always say to people, I've been studying NDC a long time, and the majority of the members is like that. No, very cold and indifferent and selfish.
My heart goes out. I mean, but how the city officer could say he's 17? What? Huh?
And into school.
And he's in Form 5.
Yeah. And they just pay tuition for those who could pay.
Well, how you call this? Not hypocrite. So hypocrite didn't see that one?
Because the only difference in this program is you're now paying for those who could have comfortably paid. And you're taking out the money, the support system. We come out. So all right, sister, we see you another time. We off time today.
Oh,
we're back with you again next week, and tomorrow we on the extension. Thank you very much.